First of all, thanks for having us. Second, I want the viewers to know that Saga is available as a thought partner, as helpful an implementation partner for states and districts around this country. We started the idea of high dosage tutoring. In fact, Mike Goldstein and I coined that phrase back in 2004 in Boston. So I've been working at this for 19 years. We've learned a lot. We now run programs in 4 cities in this country, consult internationally as well. And more importantly, we're helping districts like Fairfax County in Virginia, which Joash will talk about, helping districts and states to try to get this right. It is complicated to get high impact tutoring. It is easy to get low impact tutoring. I think we're all hoping that districts will make the right choices here. Nancy Waymack just finished her session, very thoughtful, very knowledgeable from the National Student Support Accelerator. Said a lot of things that are really worth attending to. If you didn't get to hear her session, please listen to that recording. But I just want to take you on a quick journey. This began in 2004. I was the director of a school in Boston, and there was a 9th grader named AJ Gutierrez. He was a student who came to the school, typical of kids in inner cities. A mother was his sole parental figure. He would have been the first in his family to go to college. In his junior year, we started this tutoring program for him because, like so many kids in this country, the average student comes to high school in America 3 years behind grade level. With COVID, it's worse. And the system is not designed to be able to catch most of those kids up. Heroic teachers do the best they can. Heroic principals do the best they can, but so many kids fall through the cracks. So we believe, and 19 years of work and 8 randomized control trials on us show that if you get it right, it can make up to 2.5 years of extra learning for the students in it. Here's the thing I think is most important to take away for the listeners. 2 things. Number 1, relationship is key, as Nancy said. Here's the phrase: kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So when schools are setting up tutoring, it has to be relationship based, meaning in person, fine. You can also create relationships in the vertical space of the computer world. We've done it. I have RCTs that show it. There's 12 now studies of live online tutoring that suggest the results on that are encouraging. Several of those have been done on us. But the second piece I'd say is, districts should start small to get big. Fairfax will tell you, Joash will tell you how they followed that advice. It's really, really helpful, because if you start too big, there's just so many issues. There's really 101% issues that get involved in creating a high impact tutoring program. The other thing I'd like to say is that, and Nancy mentioned this a little bit, districts and states should work backwards from what will success look like? What is the evaluation of this? What's the data going to say about whether it worked or not? Working back from that, what are the elements of quality that need to be in place to ensure those outcomes? Working back from that, what are the logistics that need to be in place? Many districts went the other way. They put the logistics in place. The second year, they said, oh, maybe we should attend to quality. And now they're thinking about the outcomes, but really work backwards before you start the program. Determine the outcomes that will generate the data that you need. And the key piece here are the quality components. So many important components of quality will get you to high impact, but the formula I've created is dosage times quality equals impact. So high dosage times high quality will equal high impact. Many districts I've seen around the country are not doing enough dosage. Many districts I've seen around the country are don't have all the quality elements in place. But if you want to get high impact, and we all do for our kids, high dosage times high quality will get you there. I think that's all I can say. I look forward to perhaps connecting with those on this call who want to hear how Saga, which is a nonprofit, can be helpful with some of the tools and resources that we've provided. And in some districts in this country, we've gone very intensively to support them, like Fairfax, like Orange County, Florida, like the state of New Mexico. These are 3 places, I think, and I've visited and talked to people in these districts. Those 3 are doing among the best in this country at trying to take this idea, this little idea that came out of a little school in Boston, and making it work for thousands and tens of thousands of kids. And one of those districts I'm really proud to work with is Fairfax County. And I'd like to turn it over to Joash for his session.
Great. Thank you so much, Alan. And first of all, thank you to Ed Week for hosting this forum. It's such a timely and relevant topic for us as we kind of puzzle through how do we make this work for so many of our vulnerable students in our schools today. And a huge thank you to Alan and Saga Education. I see some of his members of his team here. They've really been partners with us since the very beginning. They helped us to set a vision for what could be, and then really walked with us every step of the way. And we don't have it quite figured out all the way, but we've learned some lessons. And here we're really to share with you about our journey of what it's looked like in Fairfax County Public Schools. A little bit about our school districts. We are just outside of Washington, D.C. We have about 200 schools and centers. and we serve about 190,000 students. So we're incredibly diverse with over 200 home languages spoken. About a third of our students are economically disadvantaged, and about a fifth of our students are English learners. So needless to say, we have an incredible need for this tutoring support in Fairfax. We started our journey about a year ago, and several months prior, we had partnered with Tutor.com, and that's something that our communities appreciated. But we also recognize that for some of our students who may not be mature or independent enough to get academic support on their own after school, we knew that we needed to do something else during the school day to provide this high level of academic support. And so really, we started planning, and over several months, we were able to start hiring our first tutors in February of this year, February 2023, started working with principals of select schools, and we launched in about 15 schools with 30 tutors in May. And now that was an aggressive timeline, wasn't the best time to launch a brand new program, but we understood if we were to scale this program in the coming school year, we needed to get programs off the ground so we could learn, make adjustments, and figure out how do we scale this program to more than just the 15 schools that we started in. Now, as Alan shared with you, for us, what was really important is our model for implementation. And so for our schools and our tutoring program, we needed to make sure that students were receiving 30 to 45 minutes of tutoring 2 to 3 times a week during the school day in a ratio of 1 to 4, 1 to 5, using quality research or evidence-based instructional materials with progress monitoring in place. And Saga really helped us to think about also the need for providing ongoing training and support and coaching for our tutors. So we've tried to really incorporate that into our model. So in our school district, our central office team, we say that we are tiny but mighty. We are responsible for recruiting, hiring, training tutors, and then placing them in schools. And then we collaborate with school leaders, instructional coaches, assistant principals to develop an implementation plan that reflects some of these characteristics that we're going to be looking for. A couple months into our program, we learned that our budget was going to be increased 25x for the coming school year. So very quickly, we had to figure out how do we scale? What do we need to put into place? What new systems do we have to introduce? What do we need to revise? And then how do we continue to partner with people like Saga to provide the training? And then what do we communicate to our community and to our school leaders so that we can continue to scale? And then even a few months after that, as many of you may know, in September, we learned about the statewide All in Virginia Tutoring Plan, along with additional funds that were going to be shared and distributed throughout the state. So to this day, we have about 75 schools that are operational with tutoring programs. We have about 200 tutors who we've hired so far, and we do have an additional 35 schools that are preparing to launch in the coming months. And so with the additional funding from the state that we're going to be expecting soon, we plan to have our tutoring program in about 130 schools, hopefully by the end of the school year. Now it's great to be with you all. It feels like I'm coming up for air just to share about what we've been doing since we've been hard at work. We've certainly learned a lot along the way. It's been a rewarding experience, but it has been extremely challenging. But we've really been relying on the feedback from our principals, our teachers, tutors. We call them tutoring points of contact who manage the programs at the school level. And then we're also getting feedback from family members and also division leaders who are hearing from students and teachers and tutors who they're supporting. So it's been really encouraging to hear about the progress, and we're really eager to look at the data that's going to start to come in very soon as schools are expected to enter in progress monitoring into the databases that they have. And we're eager to be able to adapt, to learn from ongoing mistakes, to provide as much support as we can so that we can make the greatest positive difference for students. So that's really our journey in a nutshell. And thank you so much for sharing with us this time. And I look forward to being able to connect with many of you as well.
Thanks, everybody.